Chapter 1 to 2. I remember closing my eyes, feeling extremely tired. It was the middle of the day, and I was working my office job as I normally do. At 27, I was stuck in a dead-end job in the IT department, working a 9 to 5 that felt as though it took the entire day. I was busy clicking away at another report when I suddenly felt extremely tired. I couldn't even keep my eyes open. I tried to stand up, thinking maybe that would help me stay awake, but I couldn't gather the energy. Panic rising, I tried to call out, but I realized I couldn't even move my mouth. My eyes closed fully, and what little light passed through my lids faded to black. I was stuck in the darkness for what felt like a long time. It was weird that I was awake, but obviously unable to move. Nothing changed for a long time. In the distance, I saw a bit of light fading in, as though it were approaching me, but very, very slowly. Suddenly, the light filled my vision. Floating before my eyes were what I could only describe as a title screen. Life RPG, Beta. Tutorial. New Game Plus. Options. Credits. Shit. I thought, did I just fucking die? I realized I could finally move, so I reached out and tapped on New Game Plus. With a soft ding, everything faded once again to black. Slowly, words began scrolling past. Thank you for participating in the Life RPG Alpha Test. We've updated a bunch of things as the game proceeded and feel we finally reached the point where the major features are ready for a full-sized beta test. As a thank you for helping out, we've given you 2,000 bonus points to spend in the game store on fun perks and bonuses, and unlocked 3 of the modules for a new Game Plus. Please also check the options menu, as we've revamped the entire section. Again, thank you for participating, and have fun on your next playthrough of Life RPG. The fuck did I just read? A game? Is this thing saying my life was a fucking game? I thought to myself. As I silently raged, the words faded, and another set popped up. Name, Billy. Age, 27. Status, deceased. World, standard. Stats. S4. P6. E7. C4. I8. A3. L3. Skills. Hidden. Score. Good karma plus 300. Age 10 plus 100. Age 20 plus 100. Higher education plus 400. Self-sacrifice plus 250. Miscellaneous plus 310. Bonuses. Standard world plus 1000. Alpha tester plus 2000. Final score, 4460. Personal best, 4460. This information stayed up for a little while as I studied it. I didn't have anything to compare it to, but I thought I did pretty well apparently. Once I'd finished reading it all, it too faded away, to be replaced by a list. World selection. Standard. Live out everyday life in a normal world. Be the person you want to be. Fictional, now available. Choose from one of many different fictional worlds to be a part of. Play through that world's canon storyline, or even make your own. Custom, not available in beta. Choose from many different customizations to make a brand new world to play in. God mode, not available in beta. Play as God in any of the previous worlds. This might actually be pretty cool. I thought as I selected the fictional option. Again the list was replaced with a new one. Fictional worlds. Harry Potter, the war approaches. War is approaching, and it's up to you to stop it. Play as any one of the main cast of characters in this magical world, or make a new one. Star alongside the self-sacrificing Harry Potter, the ever-intelligent Hermione Granger, and the best friend a guy could ask for, Ronald Weasley. Also available in this world. 1. Mischief managed, the first wizarding war is coming to a boil. Play alongside James, Sirius, Remus, Peter, and Lily in this action-packed take on the first war. 2. Will peace last? Harry Potter has ended the second wizarding war in a triumphant fashion. The world finds true peace for the first time in decades, but will it last? 3. Special AU, How the Mighty Have Fallen, Voldemort won the first war and wizarding Britain trembles under his mighty fist. Will you join his cause, or fight against it? Naruto, The Tale of Too Many Villages. An ever-evolving story of deceit, death, and destruction awaits you in the world of Naruto. Where children are trained as super soldiers, throwing fire, walking on the walls, or even seeing through them is considered normal, this world is a wild ride from start to your very violent finish. Dragonball, The Future Is Now. Special AU, join the Planet Trade Organization as one of 25 different races, including the ever-favorite Scions and Namekians. Also available in this world. 1. Custom AU, the Purple Menace, Planet Vegeta was never destroyed by Frieza in this alternate universe. Join an amazing cast of scions as you fight for control of the universe, under the ever-watchful eye of the tyrant Frieza. The rest were grayed out and unreadable. I read through each, thinking of which seemed the most fun. Knowing that life was a game, that dying was actually meaningless, made this kind of fun. I could participate in any of these worlds, with more to come, and do whatever I wanted. I'm expecting if I die, I simply come back here, try another world, or even try the same one again but in a different way. All in all, I think this was a fantastic turn of events. As someone that spent far too much time playing video games while alive, this situation was perfect for me. Reaching out, I tapped on the icon for Dragonball, the Purple Menace, tapped accept when it asked if I was sure. A character creation menu popped up, offering different races, genders, and related options. I selected male scion, of course. Please allocate your SPCAL points. Remaining points, 40. S0. P0. E0. C0. I0. A0. L0. I selected each stat, and in turn learned what each one meant, and how they affected the game. Strength. How powerful you are physical. Each point in strength increases your HP, in relation to your endurance. This stat determines your starting power level and is the main component in how strong you are. Perception. How well you can see, sense other things, and spot clues. This stat is mainly used in relation to your senses. Endurance. How much stamina you have, how long you can last in battle. This stat is mainly related to your HP, and how much HP you regain over time. Charisma. How well you relate to others, and how well you speak. This stat is mainly used to determine outcomes in relation to speaking to others. Intelligence. How smart you are. This stat is mainly used to determine how quickly you learn, and how well you understand things. Agility. How fast you move, how high you jump. This stat is used to determine your ability to move within the game world. Luck. How often fate lends you a hand. This stat affects the world as a whole and can change things to your benefit. Keeping that in mind, I began to allocate the 40 points I was given. Remaining points, 0. S8. P4. E8. C3. I6. A6. L5. After hitting accept, and agreeing that once again I was sure I wanted to accept, the process continued. A large list popped up asking me to choose 2 feats at level 1, most of which was blurred out, or inaccessible. Some were marked as stat-specific, level-specific, or even unavailable in beta. Please choose 2 feats at first level. 1. Enhanced Senkai, born under the full moon, your battle prowess grows at an increased rate. Energy modifier changes are rated at 0.4 for tailed scions, 0.2 for tailless scions. 2. Scion Elite, your power level was high upon birth. Plus 0.2 to energy modifier, plus 2 to strength, plus 2 to endurance. 3. Scion Pride, you believe in the power of the scion race. When at 60% or lower HP, plus 1 temp racial STR bonus, plus 1 temp racial END bonus. 4. A legendary story. 5. A drastic loss, you lost your tail as a child. Full scions battles are now 0.8, half scions are now 1.2. Due to being bullied as a child, you've gained extra combat battle experience. Plus 0.3 to energy modifier. 6. Energy suppression, power level can be hidden. 7. Nerd, you've read a lot of books. You may not be all that good at dodging, but you've got smarts backing you up. Plus 2 bonus to INT. 8. Mentored, you were trained by some of the best and brightest. Plus 1 STR. 9. Energy sense, stackable. A. First, can sense power to a general sense. Stronger, weaker, might have hidden reserves. B. Second. Can sense hashtag asterisk 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 asterisk. Example, power level of 25,000 would give a sense of, in the 20,000 range. C. Third, full power level sensing. 10. Desperation, at 50% HP, can charge energy attacks with HP. Every 1/4 HP adds 1/4 of max damage. Amount limited to 1/2 unless less than 30% HP remaining. 11. Inner Eye, unlock the inner eye. Adds energy sense LVL2, adds plus 1 to perception, minus 1 to charisma, plus 0.2 to energy modifier. A lot of the options didn't make very much sense to me, as it wasn't explaining what all the numbers really meant. I was able to puzzle things out a bit and chose Enhanced Zenkai and Energy Suppression. After finalizing my choices, another list popped up. Please select perks if available. Points remaining, 4460. 1. The Gamer, 2500 points, life's a game, and you're well aware of that. With this extraordinary perk, you can see the game as it runs around you. Full access to your previous lives' memories, full character progression, and access to other game features. Warning, with this perk active, you gain score points at January 3rd RD, due to being aware that life is a game. 2. How old am I? 200 points, skip infancy, and begin life at 5 years old. Who wants to be a baby again? The system will simulate life for you, using your stats, feats, and perks, till 5 years have passed. Warning, you will gain no levels or experience during the 5 simulated years. 3. Skip the tutorial. 100 points, skip the tutorial, and learn things the hard way. 4. Legendary modifications, 20,000 points, your power is legendary. 5. Bonus feats, stackable, 100 points, purchase bonus feat points. Oh, now this was much more interesting. I had, of course, read The Gamer, so at least knew what that was about. I was practically salivating at the thought of being the legendary Super Saiyan, but I had nowhere near enough points. Maybe on the next playthrough. I did spend my points on The Gamer, How Old Am I, and 6 bonus feats, leaving myself with a bit over 1,000 points. I considered skipping the tutorial but thought better of it. The feats list popped up again, and I selected Scion Elite, a drastic loss, and Inner Eye, and saved the other 3 for later. There were a few interesting ones for later levels, from what I had seen. I finalized all my selections and the screen faded a final time, prompting me to choose a name. I entered in KLL, pronounced kill, and hit confirm. There was a sudden flash of light, a feeling of the world flying past me in amazing speed, then stars as far as I could see. They traveled past me at blinding speed, for a good while. I don't know how long I spent watching the stars fly past, but eventually, I could feel that I was slowing down. In the far distance, I could see that one of the stars was brightening, as I came closer. Closer and closer it came, till I was flying past the star, on approach to one of the planets. There was zero resistance as I entered the atmosphere, flying past clouds, lakes, rivers, and large swathes of land. There was a large city in the distance, huge towering skyscrapers dotting the city. I traveled past them, towards a smaller building near the center, slowing down even further. With a sudden jerk, I was through the wall, slamming into a small, tailless Scion child, that was sleeping on a mat on the floor. My eyes opened. I was alive. Current character sheet. Name, KLL. Race, Scion. Age, 5 years. Status, alive. Stats. S8, plus 2, 10. P4, plus 1, 5. E8, plus 2, 10. C3, minus 1, 2. I6. A6. L5. Health. Strength X, Endurance X, Level X 20. 10 * 10 * 1 * 20 equals 2000 HP. Energy. Scion. Strength X Endurance equals Base Energy. Base Energy X Battles equals Energy Regen. Energy Regen X Level equals Power Level. Power Level X Energy Modification equals Total Power. 10 times 10 is equal to 100. 100 times 1 is equal to 100. 100 times 1 is equal to 100. 100 times 1.7 is equal to 170. Base Energy, 100. Energy Regen, 100. Power Level, 100. Energy Modifier, 1.7, Scion Elite, 0.2, plus a drastic loss, 0.3, plus Inner Eye, 0.2. Final Power Level, 170. Feats, Scion Elite, a drastic loss, Inner Eye, Enhanced Zenkai, and Energy Suppression. Perks, The Gamer, How Old Am I, Bonus Feats, X6. Special Abilities. Zenkai, healing from less than 30% HP adds 0.1 to your energy modifier. Scion Prowess, every battle lends to your strength. Every battle you participate in which you damage someone past 80% HP, adds 1 to your battle count. Inner Eye, possesses the third eye, in the middle of the forehead. Plus 1 to Perception, minus 1 to Charisma, plus 0.2 to Energy Modifier. Unlocks Feat Energy Sense LVL2. I lay still on the floor for a moment, adjusting to the changes I was feeling. My body, my mind, my personality, every bit of it was changing in response to entering a new world. I actually felt more dumb compared to my last life, but I felt a million times stronger. I guess the stats in this game actually have meaning. I thought to myself. Bing. You have gained +1 intelligence for puzzling out an aspect of the game. Oh, well, alright then. Apparently, my stats were much more fluid than I had originally expected. I looked around the room I was in, seeing several other Scion children, most sleeping in small cots but a few were spaced out on mats like I was. They all seemed to be around the same age I was, which from the perk I purchased, told me was 5 years old. As I was looking around the room, a little blue box popped up out of the corner of my right eye. Turning towards it, I saw that it said, Begin Tutorial. I reached out and tapped it, expecting it probably worked like the manga. The world shifted around me, leaving me in an empty white world, mildly reminiscent of the hyperbolic time chamber. Welcome to Dragonball, RPG Rebirth. In this tutorial, you'll learn the basics of key, movement, energy manipulation, system management, and how to interact with the world. Would you like to begin? Another blue box stated. I tapped on Accept, prompting a green box to pop up. Quest accepted. Learn how to play the game, tutorial. Reward, 100 XP. Failure, not applicable. Hint, swipe, tap, or think to prompts to interact. I thought close at the prompt, and it disappeared instantly. Rather intuitive, actually. Especially since this world will be rather dangerous, and a random prompt could distract me. Having to touch a prompt would be rather difficult at times. Another prompt quickly followed that one. I followed along, learning how to move my key, concentrate it, and use it for actions. Basic energy attacks were as simple as concentrating my key into the palm of my hand and pushing. Flying was a bit more difficult, but knowing that Videl managed it, I figured I would get it after a fashion. Part of the tutorial covered the options menu, which I think may just be the cheatiest part of the entire system. Namely, subtitles. I could understand any conversation, from any distance as long as I could see them talking, not even necessarily hear them. I progressed pretty quickly until I had finished the final part of the tutorial. It covered how to suppress my energy, and power up to gain access to my full energy. At my current power level, I could suppress down to 1/10 th of it, without feeling any fatigue. Any lower, and I would begin to feel tired. Quest finished. Success. Learn how to play the game, tutorial. Reward, 100 XP. 1900 XP till LVL2. I closed that prompt, the world flashed again, leaving me once again in the room with the other children. Thankfully the tutorial covered some of the world itself, so I wasn't completely lost. I was currently located on Frisia Planet 2744b, a moonless planet near planet Vegeta. The city surrounding me, Sirik, was home to over 20 million lives. Most were a multitude of alien races, of which Scion was but a small percentage. I currently lived in an orphanage, for Scion children that were abandoned by their parents, or passed over for off-world missions. The age was 772, Frisia had reigned supreme for 14 years, since age 758, when he defeated his father, King Cold, in single combat. An entire solar system was destroyed in that battle, and it said that the entire universe shook with their battle. King Vegeta had passed long before then, in age 756. His successor, Prince Vegeta. King Vegeta, better known as Viceroy Vegeta, was currently in control of Sector 5A, of King Frisia's empire. All of this was mostly meaningless, in the grand scheme of things, but knowing it would help me blend in. There was plenty more taught in the tutorial, but we'll come to that as it becomes relevant. The most important thing to know at this time is that tomorrow is the test. 3 Scion captains would arrive tomorrow, and test all the children's power levels. Anyone above a certain limit would be conscripted into the force, and trained to one day join others in the planet trade. They came once a year to test the children, and generally only took 1 or 2, that had reached a level that made them trainable. I didn't exactly know why I had been passed up, as I didn't have real memories of the past 5 years, just a hazy overview. Regardless, tomorrow I was certain to be picked, and would immediately be in the thick of it. I spent a bit of time studying the children around me, sensing their power levels, getting an idea of the general range for my age group. At 170 PL, I was definitely near the top. Though one girl's power level was near 250, as far as I could tell. I would definitely be snagging the 3rd level of power sense when I could. Ping. Through studying others, you've created a skill. Observe LVL 10%. Allows you to see details about people you study. Gives greater depth with higher levels. Limited in scope by the current level. Reward, 50 XP. 1850 XP till LVL 2. Well, that's certainly good timing. I thought to myself. I quickly observed the 3 other children with the highest power levels. Name, Sana. Race, half Scion. Age, 5 years. Status, alive. HP, 2300. LVL, 2. Was placed in the orphanage at 4 years old when her mother was executed for treason. Having been previously trained by her mother, she's one of the most skilled children in the orphanage. Having only been alone for a few short months, she has yet to make any friends besides Jolly. Their training together has helped Jolly's strength grow in leaps and bounds, giving him the chance to be picked along with Sana. Name, Jolly. Race, Scion. Age, 5 years. Status, alive. HP, 1850. LVL, 1. Abandoned at 2 years old, Jolly has spent his time in the orphanage picked on and abused for being passed over each year by the selection squad. With the help of Sana, however, his power has grown tremendously and has a very real chance to join her in training. Name, Liz. Race, Scion. Age, 5 years. Status, alive. HP, 1300. LVL, 1. Liz is the youngest son of Captain Joss, of the 4th Strike Force. Seen as an embarrassment for being born with a power level of only 17, he was abandoned at only 11 months old. He does not know who his parents are. Hoping to one day find out, he has worked himself to the bone to make up for his lack of power and has become a force to reckon with. On the playground, at least. Ping. With use, you've leveled up, observe. Reward, 10 XP. 1840 XP till LVL2. Observe LVL2 22.7%. Allows you to see details about people you study. Gives greater depth with higher levels. Limited in scope by the current level. Ping. With use, you've leveled up, observe. Reward, 20 XP. 1820 XP till LVL2. Observe LVL3 17.2%. Allows you to see details about people you study. Gives greater depth with higher levels. Limited in scope by the current level. Sana, huh? I'll have to keep an eye on her. The other two are interesting, as well. Jolly appeared to be in the upper 100s, and Liz around 120. This general sensing bullshit was getting tiring, honestly. It's interesting to know that I can learn information that is unknown to others, using observe. Seeing that none of the other children were much to worry about, I decided now would be a good time to catch some more sleep. This body is practically new, as it is. I opened the menu and saved the game in the first slot. I suppressed my energy down to 30, laid back down on the mat, and with no effort, I fell asleep. You have awoken. HP fully restored. That's so fucking broken I don't even know what to do with it. I practically screamed. If I can heal just by sleeping, what will that mean for training, Zenkais, and whatever else? Get up now, brats. Breakfast is ready, and you have an hour before our guests are here. If you haven't eaten by then, you'll do without. A loud voice called, from the entrance of the room. I turned, and observed. Name, Ricto. Title, Headmaster. Race, Zoan. Age, 48. Status, alive. HP, 33,400. LVL. Ricto is the headmaster of the orphanage. A skilled trainer, but with low personal power, he was thought perfect for the role. He demands respect from the children, and won't hesitate to punt you through a wall if you give him cheek. Also good to know. Thanks, game. I thought. I hopped up and joined the other children as we filed through the doorway. As we reached the top landing, I was shoved hard from behind. Where do you think you're going, Triclops? I heard, from where I was currently laying on the floor. I looked up and found the owner of the voice. Liz stood over me, staring down at me with disgust rather evident on his face. Ah. It didn't mention he was a bully in his little biography. I thought. Wait, did he say Triclops? My hand reached up, feeling my face. I had 3 eyes. I had 3 fucking eyes. What the F dash, I started to say, but knew only darkness. You have awoken. HP fully restored. Due to healing from less than 30% HP, you've gained a Zenkai bonus of 0.1. Due to the feat Enhanced Zenkai, that bonus is instead 0.2. Energy modifier is now 1.9, for a total power level of 190. I opened my eyes, all fucking 3 of them, and found myself laying on the grass outside of the orphanage. I looked up at the building and found a hole in the side, near the top of the building. Ricto was standing in the hole, looking down at me. He floated out of the hole and drifted down to me. Watch your language. You know better than that. He yelled at me. I'm sorry, sir. I was, surprised by Liz pushing me. I replied, getting to my feet. He looked down at me, surprise forming on his face. You're a sturdy little brat, aren't you? Most would be sobbing out their broken ribs in a med tank right now. Whatever. When the captains pass you over again, you get to spend the rest of the day fixing the hole you made. Am I clear? I nodded, so he grabbed me and flew us both back inside. I walked down the stairs, trailing after the other kids, wondering about the situation. Obviously, it was the inner eye perk that gave me 3 eyes. It'd have been nice if it had mentioned that little facet. I had plenty of bonus points to buy the perk for extra feats. I could have easily gotten energy sense that way. Oh well, I suppose. No reason to bitch about things I can't actually control. TN made 3 eyes look cool. Maybe I can as well. I sat down near the end of one of the long benches that framed each table in the dining room. More of a cafeteria, I suppose. There was plenty of food to go around, and neither of the 2 children I was sitting next to seemed all that bothered by my lack of a tail, or 3 eyes. I quickly observed every child in the room that I had a line of sight to, leveling up, observe, twice more, earning 70 XP total. Only 1750 left till level 2. I felt something off to the left of me and turned towards the doors. Whoa. Holy shit. I thought, as 3 tall scions walked in. I couldn't sense their power levels very well, but the one in the middle was in the upper 30k range, and the other 2 were between 15k and 23k. I observed each in turn. Name, Marlowe. Title, Captain of the 8th Strike Force. Race, Scion. Age, 24. Status, alive. HP, 42,850. LVL. Marlowe is the captain of the 8th Strike Force. Hailed as a hero for putting down an insurrection on Frisia Planet 44C single-handedly, this is a man you do not want to mess with. Well known for his fierce attitude, his respect can be gained through hard work and diligence. Name, Gruz. Title, Captain of the 14th Strike Force. Race, Scion. Age, 28. Status, alive. HP, 37,900. LVL. Gruz is the captain of the 14th Strike Force. He sees training the next generation as one of the most respected positions. He is very particular about who joins his strike force. Known as the Scion Flash, he has learned to make his aura as bright as a lightning bolt and easily blinds most opponents in fights. Name, Lar. Title, Captain of the 23rd Strike Force. Race, Scion. Age, 19. Status, alive. HP, 26,420. LVL, 11. Lar is captain of the 23rd Strike Force, and newly minted at that. Having been captain for just under a year, after earning a field promotion, Lar isn't always sure he is making the right decision. Taking a lot of heat for being so young, he is always on edge, expecting a fight. Apparently, I can only see levels up to 10 above my own. That's good to know, as barring exceptional circumstances, anyone that much higher in level than me is better left alone. I watched as all 3 strode through the doors, observing the children around me that had yet to notice their presence. Both Captain Lar and Captain Gruz had noticed I was staring at them, while Captain Marlowe was busy talking to Ricto. They moved on in their observations, however. Children. Leave your plates in the bins, and file outside. Line up along the south wall, and wait for your name to be called. Ricto called out, getting everyone's attention. I quickly stood, dropping my plate in one of the bins at the door, and filed out along with the rest. We lined up along the south wall as requested, and waited in mostly silence. I could hear some whispers further down the line, and a giggle now and then. It only took about 10 minutes for all the kids to file out, and get into the line, followed shortly by the captains and Ricto. Captain Marlowe stepped forth, and addressed us. I am Captain Marlowe, of the 8th Strike Force. Some of you may have heard of me, some of you may not have. Beside me are Captains Gruz and Lar. Today, you will be tested for strength, speed, and energy potential. Those of you that pass will leave with us today to enter into formal training. Those that do not will receive a final chance next year. Those of you that fail at 6 years old will be sent into general forces, equipped with a blaster, and be used to cannon fodder. I'd suggest you take this seriously. All of this was said in a low whisper of a voice that felt as though it chilled the air in its passage. When I call your name, you will step forward. Your power level will be read by me, then you will move to Captain Gruz. He will test your strength and speed. After him, you will go to Lar. Lar will test your resolve. You can, and may, fail at any one of the tests. If you do, you will return to the line. Am I clear? He finished, looking up and down the line. Quest alert. Objective, pass Captain Marlowe's tests. Bonus objective number 1. Bonus objective number 2. Bonus objective number 3. Reward, 1000 XP. Failure, another year at the orphanage, 200 XP. There was a mumbled, "Yes, Captain," from a few places in the line, with my own being the loudest by far, as I also thought, except at the prompt. I said, "Am I clear?" He thundered. "Yes, Captain," came the response, much louder. He nodded, then took the offered list from Ricto. He began working down the list, one by one. 2 of the kids that I sensed to be around 100 passed Marlowe's test, with 1 failing at Gru's test. The other was led around the corner by Captain Lar, having yet to return. Eventually, Jolly was called forward. "Give me your best snarl, kid. Try to make me afraid of you," Marlowe commanded. Jolly appeared a bit taken back, but clenched his fists and growled a bit. Marlowe hit a few buttons on his scouter, before calling out a pass and passing him on to Gru's. "KLL. Front and center," Captain Marlowe called. I stepped forward, making my way to the spot all the other kids stood at. I could hear snickering from a few other kids in line and didn't particularly like the way Captain Marlowe's eyes narrowed as he took in my third eye. "All right, kid, give it your best," he ordered. I bent my knees slightly, setting myself slightly forward, arms crossed in front of my face. These little bastards wanna laugh at me. I'll fucking show them. Captain Marlowe reached up to tap his scouter to read my power level, and I watched the numbers on it settle to 32. His mouth opened to call fail when I acted. "Gra-ra," I called, throwing my arms out to the side. I lit my aura, it spread out around me in voluminous bright blue-green. My power level instantly shot up to 190, even jumping slightly past to 200, before dropping back down. The ground beneath me and around me cracked lightly, shooting a bit of dust into the air. I kept my aura lit, as my eyes met Marlowe's. I could see the numbers holding steady at 190 on his scouter. His eyes unfocused slightly, so he could see it, before focusing on me again. "A suppressor, huh? Pretty rare for a scion. Pass," he said. "Leave your power up, and go see Gru's." I smirked at the silence behind me, all the little bastards that had obviously picked on me in shock at the sudden turn of events. Even that little asshole Liz was silent. I walked past Captain Marlowe to Captain Gru's, and stood to wait for instructions. Liz was called up behind me after 2 other children failed. "Good show, kid. Now let's see if we can get you through this section." Around me are weights. Starting at 20 pounds, moving upwards, I need you to lift each using both hands. When you get to the one you can't lift, we'll move on. Simple, right? "Yes, Captain Gru's," I replied as I moved to the first weight. I let my aura die down, but kept my power up at 190, and began working through the weights. The first 4 were simple, and I had to actually push to lift 5, 6, and 7. The 8th I could barely budge, however, I knew a secret most of these kids didn't. As the tutorial taught, feats of strength started with your muscles and ended with your energy. How else was Goku smashing people into mountains, or smashing craters into the ground with every punch? Your muscles can only get so strong before they simply stop. Your energy, though, with enough of it anything is possible. I began pumping my energy through my body, energizing my muscles to a height even I didn't know existed. The 8th, 9th, and 10th weights were as light as the first 4, and I didn't even break a sweat till I had to really push for the 15th. Bing! You have gained +1 strength from stressing your muscles. You passed the strength test. Officer Gru spoke up, from where he was watching me. Liz was sweating buckets, glaring at me, stuck at weight 9. Never thought I'd see an untrained kid lift anything higher than 10 weights, but even I lived to be surprised. "You know how to use your energy?" "I do, a little bit," I replied. My energy had dropped down to 160, from using it to lift the weights, but was slowly going back up. I would have to calculate the refill rate at some point in the future. "Well, I'm going to give you pass on the agility test then. It's obvious you'd pass that as well. Head around the corner to see Captain Lar," he said, keeping his eyes on the struggling Liz. "Yes sir," I replied, as I walked off. I dropped my energy back down to 100, as it was a bit of a strain to keep it at max while it refilled. Something I imagined would get easier with practice. Bing! You have gained +1 intelligence from thinking through an aspect of the game. Well, alright. I thought as I rounded the corner. Standing before me were 2 other kids, one of which was Jolly. I observed the other, but he didn't appear to be all that interesting. His backstory was rather bland, and probably wouldn't be important to the story. I mean seriously, who names their scion child Stu? Bing! You have gained +1 intelligence from realizing that backstories are important in more than just D&D. I'm going to ignore that one. I thought as I watched Jolly and the kid talk. I looked to Captain Lar, but he didn't say anything. Apparently, we were waiting for the rest of the other kids for this test. I sat down in the grass against the building and closed my eyes. I took the time we had to sense the energy around us, reaching out as far as I could. I could sense some absolutely massive power levels further out into the city, some even reaching as high as 100k, but nothing further than that. That was about 3 or 4 miles away, I estimated. 2 other kids joined us in the meantime, both Liz and Sana. I felt Captain Marlowe and Gruz approaching, so I quickly stood up and moved into the group of kids. Congratulations on passing the first 2 parts, Captain Marlowe began. However, this final part will be more difficult than the first, by far. Captain Gruz, explain the test. Captain Gruz stepped forward, facing all 5 of us. In the strike forces, the chain of command is everything. Following orders is most important. As cadets, you will have many people above you in the chain of command that can order you to do just about anything at a moment's notice. It won't always make sense at the time, but could possibly be integral to a mission's success. Following orders is what makes teamwork possible. He met each of our eyes in turn, before suddenly barking out, pick a number, 1 through 10. We each flinched before Sana called out 4. 7. I called out, while Jolly picked 2, Liz picked 3, and Stu picked 10. Good. That wasn't as fast as I'd have liked, but you'll learn quickly. Captain Gruz replied. Sana, Jolly, and Stu step off to the side. They quickly followed orders, leaving Liz and me alone in front of the captains. It must be fate that left you 2 standing alone. It's my understanding that there was an incident this morning, before we arrived, involving you 2. I believe KLL got a ricto kick through a wall. He asked, looking at us. Neither of us replied, other than looking at each other, then back to Captain Gruz. When your captain, your lieutenant, a sergeant, or your team leader gives you an order, you follow it. Is that clear to the both of you? He asked us. Yes, sir. We both replied. Good. Then you 2 will fight to the death. Go. He ordered. Combat has started. Enemies, Liz, LVL1. 200 XP. I'll be the first to admit that I froze. I wasn't expecting anything like that, and especially not on my first day in this world. I knew that Dragonball was a violent world, but I never expected it would be worse than Naruto. That universe has child soldiers. Though, on reflection, I guess so does this universe. Liz reacted first, and with a snarl was smashing his fist into my face, tossing me backward about 3 feet. Bing. You have gained +1 intelligence from, not now game, Liz is coming back in. I brought up my hands, catching the next right and left. He went for a headbutt, but I was able to kick him in the stomach first, forcing him back. I didn't exactly know much about fighting, admittedly. I did some kickboxing when I was 14, in my old life, but didn't stick with it for more than a few months. Thankfully, this was more of a brawl than a fight. Liz was an untrained little kid, while I had 27 years of life experience to draw from. I powered up to the max, which was suddenly 209 now, and sent some of my energy into my limbs. As the energy passed through me, I noticed that Liz was moving noticeably slower. I didn't feel any slower than before, so it was easy to meet him head-on, as he rushed me. Slipping into his guard, my fist slammed head-on into his nose with a nice loud pop. The hit stopped him dead in his tracks, before launching him backward 10 feet. He hit the ground and rolled, with me but a few steps behind him. As he rolled, I was there, burying my foot into his ribs, doubling him over. His body practically ragdolled, sliding and rolling across the ground, slamming hard into the wall of the orphanage. I lifted off of the ground, rushing through the air over to his downed body, preparing to slam my fist down into him from the air. As my fist approached, there was a flash, and Captain Gruz was standing there, his hand wrapped around my wrist, stopping me in my tracks. Enough. He ordered. I dropped to the ground when he released my wrist. I looked down at Liz, seeing what damage I had caused. His nose was mush, all crushed flesh, and clotting blood. His ribs had an indent from where I had kicked him, and there was blood pooling beneath him. I could see a flash of dull white, a broken rib had parted the flesh. I was in shock, staring down at the damage I had done and could feel my breakfast threatening to resurface. Gamer's mind activated. Oh. Never mind then. I actually feel perfectly fine about nearly killing a fucking 5-year-old kid. Good thing this game can actually change my mind for me. Not a single thing to worry about there, no sir. HM. He's alive, but barely, Gruz said, as he turned towards me. Why did you attack with such ferocity, KLL? I know you saw part of his strength test. He can't use his energy as you can. His power level is lower than yours by almost half. I mean, you ordered, and he attacked me. He was aiming to kill me, so I had to at least try to kill him. I stammered out, feeling a slight bit of shame. I was happy to see that even the game couldn't completely rob me of my emotions. He nodded, then turned to Sana, Jolly, and Stu. Jolly, Stu, pick a number between 1 and 5. Jolly flinched, hard, staring at me in fear, while Stu squeaked out a hesitant 1. T3. Jolly called out when Captain Gruz met his eyes. Sana. He called out, to which she quickly replied with a, yes sir. Gruz paused, his eyes tracking back and forth between Jolly and Stu. Seconds passed by, Stu glancing between Sana and Gruz, while Jolly simply trembled. There was a groan behind us, signaling that Liz was back in the world of the living. I felt a small measure of pity for him as I turned towards him. Had that been me waking up, I'd have most likely had a waiting alert telling me I had woken up completely healed, and gained a Zenkai to boot. Captain Gruz hardly turned, pointing a finger unerringly at Liz's barely rising chest. With a complete lack of remorse or effort, he ended his life with a thin sharp beam through his heart. Shock shot through my body at what I had just witnessed, barely acknowledging the pop-up telling me that combat had ended and I had gained 200 XP for the life of a toddler. Sana. Kill Stu. He ordered, suddenly. I had barely managed a half-turn before I felt Sana's power rage behind me. There was a sharp, wet cracking noise, and I knew that Stu's life had ended. When I had finally turned completely, Stu's body was lying lifelessly on the ground at Sana's feet. His head at a highly unnatural angle, it was obvious that she had snapped his neck without a moment's hesitation. Gamer's mind activated. The rising horror that I was feeling was muted, diminished. I could understand that this world was a harsh one, that death was a certainty. I had made a terrible mistake in coming here, but short of dying myself, there was no going back. I'd have to simply make do. Jolly. Captain Gruz called out. Oh God. I thought, as Captain Gruz told Jolly to pick a number between 1 and 2. It was easy to see that he was being forced to choose his executioner. Either I or Sana would be picked to kill this kid. He was stronger than both Liz and Stu had been, and actually, could use his energy. He had been training with Sana for the past few months, and most likely had figured that trick out. This would be an actual fight. 1. He yelled out, turning so that he was facing both Sana and me. Good. You showed some bravery after all. Captain Goose called back. The three of us were frozen, staring at each other, wondering at the turn of events. You can stand down, children. You've passed this test. Welcome to the strike forces. Captain Marlowe told us. The world blurred around me, everything freezing in place. Quest success. Objectives. Pass Captain Marlowe's tests. Pass. Plus 1000 XP. Bonus objective number 1, show off while getting your power level measured. Pass. Plus 300 XP. Bonus objective number 2, earn a pass without taking the agility test. Pass. Plus 300 XP. Bonus objective number 3, kill one of your opponents. Fail. Plus 0 XP. Total reward, plus 1600 XP. Dash 50 XP till LVL2. Level up alert. Rewards. Plus 2 attribute points. Plus 1 feat. Plus 1 special attack creation point. Earn title, the Scion Gamer. While this title is active, gain plus 10% experience from combat encounters, plus 20% experience from killing opponents, and plus 10% attribute points from training. Oh shit, that's not exactly a small power-up. The 2 points alone would make a huge difference in my strength, which seemed to equal out to a higher level somehow. I wonder how I level up. I thought. Of course, ask and you shall receive, as immediately a new screen popped up, showing my character sheet. Name, KLL. Race, Scion. Age, 5 years. Status, alive. Stats. S8, plus 3, 11. P4, plus 1, 5. E8, plus 2, 10. C3, minus 1, 2. I6, plus 3, 8. A6. L5. Health. Strength X, Endurance X, Level X 20. 11 by 120 equals 2200 HP. Energy. Scion. Strength X, Endurance equals Base Energy. Base Energy X Battles equals Energy Regen. Energy Regen X Level equals Power Level. Power Level X Energy Modification equals Total Power. 11 times 10 is equal to 110. 110 times 1 is equal to 110. 110 times 1 is equal to 110. 110 times 1.9 is equal to 209. Base Energy, 110. Energy Regen, 110. Power level, 110. Energy modifier, 1.9, Scion Elite, 0.2, plus a drastic loss, 0.3, plus inner eye, 0.2, plus earn Zenkai, 0.2. Final power level, 209. Feats, Scion Elite, a drastic loss, inner eye, enhanced Zenkai, and energy suppression. Perks, the gamer, how old am I, bonus feats, x6. Special abilities. Zenkai, healing from less than 30% HP adds 0.1 to your energy modifier. Scion prowess, every battle lends to your strength. Every battle you participate in which you damage someone past 80% HP, adds 1 to your battle count. Inner eye, possesses the third eye, in the middle of the forehead. +1 to perception, -1 to charisma, plus 0.2 to energy modifier. Unlocks feat energy sense LVL2. Oh. That's how my health and power level work. That is actually rather simple, now that I think about it. I quickly shoved both new attribute points into strength and endurance and accepted the changes. The feat sheet popped up next, showing the previous ones, and 2 new ones. Feats. 1. Enhanced Zenkai, born under the full moon, your battle prowess grows at an increased rate. Battles are rated at 1.2 for tailed scions, 1.1 for tailless scions. 2. Scion Elite, your power level was high upon birth. Your energy modifier starts at 1.2. 3. Scion Pride, you believe in the power of the scion race. When at 60% or lower HP, +1 temp racial STR bonus, +1 temp racial END bonus. 4. A legendary story. 5. A drastic loss, you lost your tail as a child. Full scions battles are now 0.8, half scions are now 1.2. Due to being picked on as a child, you've gained extra combat battle experience. Start with 1.3 energy modifier. 6. Energy suppression, power level can be hidden, down to your base energy. 7. Nerd, you've read a lot of books. You may not be all that good at dodging, but you've got smarts backing you up. +2 bonus to INT. 8. Mentored, you were trained by some of the best and brightest. +1 STR. 9. Energy sense, stackable. A. First, can sense power to a general sense. Stronger, weaker, might have hidden reserves. B. Second. Can sense #******************************************* Example, power level of 25,000 would give a sense of, in the 20,000 range. C. Third, full power level sensing. 10. Desperation, at 50% HP, can charge energy attacks with HP. Every 1/4 HP adds 1/4 of max damage. Amount limited to 1/2 unless less than 30% HP remaining. 11. Inner eye, unlock the inner eye. Adds energy sensing LVL2, adds +3 to perception checks. 12. Life giver, stackable. A. First, gain +10% HP permanently. B. Second. Gain +20% HP permanently. 13. Oxygen. Who needs that? A. First. Can breathe while underground, or high in the sky. B. Second. Can breathe while submerged in any liquid. C. Third. No longer need to breathe at all. I still had 3 extra feats left from character creation and had just gained another. The 2 new feats were pretty interesting, but I wasn't sure if it would be worth it to burn more than 1 or 2. After some thought, I grabbed the 3rd level of energy sense and the 1st level of the oxygen perk set. I finalized those selections, and my newly updated character sheet popped up. Name, KLL. Title, The Scion Gamer. Race, Scion. Age, 5 years. Status, alive. LVL, 2. 2050/7000. 4950 XP till LVL 3. Stats. S8, +4, 12. P4, +1, 5. E8, +3, 11. C3, -1, 2. I6, +3, 8. A6. L5. Health. Strength X, Endurance X, Level X 20. 12 by 120 equals 2640 HP. Energy. Scion. Strength X, Endurance equals Base Energy. Base Energy X Battles equals Energy Regen. Energy Regen X Level equals Power Level. Power Level X Energy Modification equals Total Power. 12 times 11 is equal to 132. 132 times 1.8 is equal to 237.6. 237.6 times 1 is equal to 237.6. 237.6 times 1.9 is equal to 451.44. Base energy, 132. Energy regen, 237.6. Power level, 237.6. Energy modifier, 1.9, Scion Elite, 0.2, plus a drastic loss, 0.3, plus inner eye, 0.2, plus earn Zenkai, 0.2. Final power level, 451.44. Feats, Scion Elite, a drastic loss, inner eye, enhanced Zenkai, energy suppression, energy sense LVL3, and oxygen. Who needs it? LVL1. Remaining feats, 3. Perks, the gamer, how old am I, bonus feats, x3. Special abilities. Zenkai, healing from less than 30% HP adds 0.1 to your energy modifier. Scion prowess, every battle lends to your strength. Every battle you participate in which you damage someone past 80% HP, adds 1 to your battle count. Inner eye, possesses the third eye, in the middle of the forehead. Plus 1 to perception, minus 1 to charisma, plus 0.2 to energy modifier. Unlocks feat energy sense LVL2. Whoa. My power level went up ridiculously. I had to go over everything again to figure out what had changed. Leveling would basically add a huge boost each time, as would battles. Apparently, my fight with Liz didn't count as a battle. I'd have to look into seeing what counted as a battle. As huge as the growth was right now, I could tell that leveling would slow down pretty quickly. Stat changes would mean small differences, as would Zenkai's. I didn't know if battles required anything other than hurting someone below 20% HP, but we would see. I tapped on the finish, and the world swam back into view. I instantly felt horribly tired and had to raise my power level to 45, to be above 10% of my power. It was strange to think that right now, I was stronger than both Goku and Piccolo when they fought their final battle at the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. Granted, either one would smash my little ass into the ground, due to huge differences in fighting ability. I began to pay attention to what the three captains were talking about, now that I was back to normal. We'll be leaving in a moment. Do all three of you know how to fly? Asked Captain Marlowe. I nodded, along with Sana and Jolly. Good. Follow me, then. I'll move slowly so you can keep up. Captain Lar, take care of the two bodies. He ordered, then lifted up off the ground. We flew outwards from the rough center of the city, heading what I thought was east towards the edge. It wasn't a long flight but gave me enough time to observe a few people I could see flying around, below, and above us. No one really stood out, but gotta use the skills to level them up. As we flew along, I realized that I hadn't found out what the special attack creation point was for. I'd have to look into that when I had the chance. As we reached the city edge, we swept left and upwards. Focusing in that direction, I could sense a multitude of people. I couldn't count them all, but definitely above 100 people. We flew in that direction for a time, till we came to a floating building of sorts. It was slightly dome-shaped, with 3 towers along the back edge. We landed near what I would call a gate, but it was composed of light. Welcome to the Strike Force Academy. Everyone here is a cadet, like yourself. Familiarize yourself with the buildings and where things are located, quickly. There is much to be done, and never enough time to do it all. Come morning, you will be placed on a squad. Each squad will be led by an older student, who is in their final year here. They will be your team leader, and you will be expected to follow their orders. He said as we entered through the gate. Insubordination will not be tolerated. We were led through one of the buildings, down a set of staircases. Through one of the doors, we found a small room with 3 tiny beds in it. You'll stay here tonight. After your squad selection, you will live with them for your time here. Under each bed, you will find several items, including a scouter. Put that on, along with the standard issue Scion armor. You'll be alerted when lunch is ready, just follow the scouter prompts. Any questions? He finished. Jolly spoke up, asking, were 3 kids only ever going to be chosen, Captain? There are 3 of us, 3 beds. That's right, he answered. We only pick 3 children each year, to join the academy. If there is a child that is in their 6th year, and somehow passes, an exception is made. No more questions, I have work today. With that, he swept out the door. I moved towards the bed on the far right and began to go through the items in the pull-out drawer beneath it. I pulled out the scouter, clipping it onto my left ear. At pushing the main button, there was a click and a small suction feeling as it attached to my head. I tap away at it a few times, turning on the comm link, switching channels, activating the scanner, etc. Kinda just playing with it, really. How did you do it? Sana asked, from behind me. I turned to look at her over my shoulder and replied, "Oh, you just hit the center button once, and it activates easily enough," I said, as I fully turned around. At the look on her face, however, I asked, "You weren't talking about the scouter, were you?" "No, I wasn't." "How did you change so quickly? A week ago, you were a weakling that couldn't go a single day without getting slapped around by the other kids. Then today you turned into a different person. Regardless of what the captain did in the end, you killed Liz," she accused. I took a step back and considered her accusations. Technically she was right, and my progress would look strange to an outsider. However, I didn't exactly owe anyone an answer. I died to be here, and I'll be damned if I just let it go. I was hiding my power, obviously, I replied coolly, turning back to my armor. If this stuff is stretchy as in the show, why are there adult-sized ones? If this child model can stretch to the size of an Owozaru, why make adult models at all? I thought to myself, as I went over it. A hand grabbed my shoulder whipping me around, before another hand grabbed my throat, lifting me and slamming me into the wall. Sana stood there, holding me in place, looking up into my face with contempt. "I'd suggest you remember your place, Triclops. Just because you were strong enough to pass the test doesn't mean you're actually worth anything," she said angrily. Her power level was hovering at exactly 258, not a bit of strain showing from holding me aloft. Her fist curled, coming up to punch me in the stomach. If it was a fight she wanted, it was a fight she was going to get. My power level surged to 350 in less than a split second, while I concentrated most of it on my stomach to block her attack. Her fist hit what must have felt like a steel wall, from the way she jerked it back, pain evident on her face. I pushed my energy outward, with a yell, igniting my aura in a flash of light. Sana was launched back, barely being caught by Jolly, who reacted at the last second. I floated there looking down at her, as she got back to her feet. "And I would suggest to you, that you make sure you're actually powerful enough to back up your words before you try to throw them around," I said, before powering back down. I landed and went back to going through the drawers, treating Sana as though she didn't matter. I'm sure that would infuriate her. I heard some movement from behind me, but no overt movements towards me. Once I had tried my armor on, I laid on the bed to relax till lunch. All in all, even with seeing 2 toddlers die, I'd say my first day went alright.